Some things to consider when you're fermenting kefir. Number one, it's a living thing. So you do need to give it more food to eat or the cultures will die. They need food. The natural food for kefir berries or grains is lactose. That's what they consume. So kefir thrives in any sort of mammalian milk. You could use yak milk, you can use cow milk, you can use goat milk, you can use sheep milk, you could use camel milk. Any sort of animal that you can milk, you can produce kefir with it. Each one's going to taste slightly differently because the milks themselves taste different, but it will be kefir. What is tricky to use are products that don't have lactose, even if they're called milks. Nut milks, almond milk, all of those sorts of things. Even though they're called milk, they don't have lactose in them. And so the cultures are going to struggle to survive. They don't have their native food and they're going to struggle to survive. So if you want to make kefir from one of those milks, you're going to have to inoculate it each time with a little bit of your original kefir and then start over again and maintain a culture in actual milk for it to keep thriving and surviving. You can change which kind of dairy milk you're using. Our original kefir berries were from a lady who had goats, so they were in goat's milk. And we just started using them straight off with normal cow's milk. And it took 2 or 3 days for them to stop tasting like goat's milk kefir and start tasting like cow's milk kefir, but the grains themselves did the transition just grand. Right now, we're actually using cow's milk from the store because all of our cows are dry in preparation for calving, and none of our goats have come online and none of the sheep are online yet. So we're just buying milk from the store and it's working great. Because it's a living, breathing culture, the temperature that the air is changes how fast it ferments. The warmer it is, the faster it ferments, and the more frequently you're going to have to change it out and give it more food. The cooler it is, the slower it ferments, and so you won't have to change it out as frequently. Because kefir grains are living and breathing, not breathing because they don't breathe air, because kefir grains are living, they grow, and they live in this matrix, and so it grows too, and you'll eventually have so many grains that if you let it keep going, you would just have a jar of grains and no kefir. So what you do is, for a quart of milk, you want about a tablespoon-ish of live active grains. When you get above that amount, just split it off. You can do a couple of things with it. One, you can rinse it off with water, let it kind of dry, and then put it in a baggie and freeze it. And that way, if something horrible should happen to your kefir grains, you dump them on the counter in a pile of dirtiness, or you accidentally flush them down the sink, or I don't know, any number of tragedies, you'll have a backup in the freezer. If you want them to have a backup for a very, very, very long time, you can do that same rinse off thing and then dehydrate them at a really, really low temperature, just air, dehydrate them. And then you can put them in your refrigerator and they'll be good for years. The other thing you can do with the grains is feed them to your animals. Our dogs, it's live active cultures and protein, milk proteins. So your dogs will love them, your cats will love them. Our chickens go ballistic over spent kefir berries. So that's a really awesome way to use leftover grains. Another thing about these cultures is that they're anaerobic. So they live just like an environment where your gut is. It's not full of air, and that is the same environment that kefir grains or yogurt, any of those sorts of things, live in. So keeping them out of the air helps them function better.